Lord Vader, I come to tell you the NYXFACE Awards are approaching.
Prepare the troops.
Yes, sir.
Starting off with black face paint, I'll be sketching the nose and eyes. Drawing 2 lines on the sides of my nose, and halfway I'll draw a line across. I'll be drawing wider lines on the tip of my nose and leaving the center blank. Moving on to the eyes, I'll be outlining where I want the eyes to start and end. I will be taking this over my brows and connecting them to the nose. I'll be drawing wide ovals and not perfect circles. I'll be drawing 2 upside down triangles on both sides of my cheeks, and when drawing the inside line, make sure it's aligned with the lines created from the nose for when we start creating the mouth. Before shadowing anything with black, I'm going to take the white paint on an angled brush and start highlighting to make these areas stand out. On the outer sides, it blended into a gray color, which is what I was going for. In the middle, I'll be drawing 2 lines because I'm going to create some shadow and light to make it look more realistic. On the cheek area, I'll be outlining the white with black paint to give it a crisp line before we start shading in the area. I'll then start shading the outer and inner corners with black and flicking it for a smooth transition into the white, and I'll be setting this with a black eyeshadow. Using an eyeshadow not only helps keep the product in place but also gives a more natural transition. On the center, I'll be applying white and dabbing motions, then in between the white, I'll be going in with the gray and adding more white paint to bring back the highlight in the middle and blend it with the white shadow. I'll be repeating the same steps on the other side. Moving on to the lower part, I'll be starting with the white paint and creating the highlights, then shading around it with black, and to give it a clean, smooth look, I'll be adding gray to the inner part of the white. Every time I use black, I'll be setting it with a black eyeshadow to prevent the products from budging. On the center of the nose, I'll be applying white and setting it with the white eyeshadow, also making sure to leave a separation from the black line because we will be creating depth in between so it gives the illusion of a mask. First, I'll apply gray on one side and outline it with black and fade it in with a shadow. And to not lose focus, I went ahead and applied the white to the side of the mouth. In the middle of the nose, I'll be applying black on one side and a little bit of white to give it a highlight. I'll be fading it with a black and white shadow to kind of give the nose a lifted effect. I'll then proceed to shade in between the cheeks and the eye area, taking it carefully around the highlighted areas and setting it with an eyeshadow. I'll be shading in the eyes with black and also making sure I apply it on my waterline. Setting the eyes is important, especially with oily eyelids. Working with paint, things crease easily, especially around the eye area. To create the cringe angry look, I'll be flicking 3 lines to the other side of my nose with white and then shading the rest with black and fading it with the black shadow, then a white one. Going back to the mouth, I'll be drawing 2 straight lines next to the white lines and also on the outers of my cheeks. I went ahead and drew a line on my chin where I want the mouth to end. Before starting on my mouth, I'm going to finish off the sides by adding the sensors. I'll start by creating a small long triangle, then drawing a white line halfway and bringing it down to where the mouth ends. On the outer part, I went in with gray to give it a faded effect. I'll be outlining around the circles for depth and finishing off the second tube. I want it to be precise, so I would outline anything white with black to make it look polished. I'll be doing the same thing on the other side. I drew another line underneath and shaded the outer corners with gray and the middle with white and faded everything together with a black shadow for the dimension. I then took white paint and added this to the top of my brows to give a highlighted effect to where the eyes end and went around it with black paint. We will be going back to the eyes at the end. I went ahead and shaded everything black and set it with black eyeshadow. Moving on to the mouth, I'll start by drawing 8 lines. On the center bottom, I'll be applying white and blending it smoothly for a highlight. After, I'll start shading in the boxes with black paint. I'll be shading every other box and leaving 4 of them blank. And to perfect them and set them, I'll be using a black eyeshadow. The 4 boxes left, I went in with gray and added white on the middle for the perfect light and shadow effect. And on the top, I'll be dragging the black shadow down and blending it. On the black lines, I'll be adding little dashes with white paint and a small angled brush. To create the main air intake, I'll be dragging this from my chin down to my neck with black paint and shading it in with gray and adding a bit of white to make it stand out more and adding black dashes across. For the chest suit, I'll start off by drawing 2 lines on my collar and shading it in with black. I'll leave the very center blank because I will be adding white paint. As I go, I will set it with black shadow. To make this look more realistic, I went in with white and added highlights and blended them with black shadow. I drew 2 lines on the sides to give me a base of where I'll start the lines. I'll be drawing 8 lines across my chest and shading 4 of them black. I'll be leaving some empty spaces to shade them in with white for a highlighted effect and blending it out with a black shadow. I'll start by adding gray to the sides where I want to draw the cape, but I'll be going back to the chest with white and shading the rest in, and adding black for the shadow and blending this into the white. I'll be going in with white paint and adding highlights on random places to make this look more realistic. To finish off the cape, I went on top of it with white, and to create ridges and shadow, I went in with black eyeshadow and started adding it all around, and to darken the black, I would add paint and set it with the shadow. To complete the eyes, I went in with white paint and started adding highlights to make it look realistic and blended the edges with black eyeshadow. I covered my ears with black paint to make them blend in with the helmet.
Let's drop off the troops and get ready for battle.